watching Capital Connection from the Illinois State Capitol.
Illinois has 852 school districts spanning across the 102 counties that we have. That's fifth most in the country. We are the sixth largest state in the country, so some might see that as about an apples-to-apples comparison. But a lot of advocates in education, a lot of experts say that the state could do more to consolidate some of these overlapping school districts. But the plan the Illinois Policy Institute proposed in Springfield did not find a supporter in State Senator Andy Manar.
They're just after public education, I believe. They're after teachers. They're after anything that spends a tax dollar that they don't believe directly benefits them.
Joining us now is House Representative Democrat Sue Scherer from Decatur. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
Career teacher before becoming a lawmaker here, so you bring some of that education background, and you have a pretty fair public school teacher, so you know how these school districts are all set up. Senator Manar there took some pretty strong criticism of this bill. He said it would give local school districts no say-so whatsoever. But I don't think that was your understanding of the bill. How do you see this school consolidation effort?
Well, I see both sides to this. I really do. Having been a teacher for 35 years, and I was the chief negotiator for the teachers in our school district locally, and the district that I taught in was a very diverse district. I mean, as diverse as you're going to get, I guess.
But back to this issue of consolidation, you said that it could be an issue, but it's different in different districts. The bill that is now before the Senate that you did vote for would sort of fast-track that process. You mentioned Maura Forsyth could sort of combine, and they already took action to consolidate their district. Different localities across the state have that power now. This bill would basically say 20 lawmakers can get together and they can vote. And if they vote yes, 11 of them vote yes, they can fast-track this and put it on the ballot without people in the local area having to organize to put it there. Good idea?
Again, I see both sides to this.
You voted for it.
Right. The advantage to, and everything I vote for I don't think is perfect. That's clearly on that. But the advantage to this that I see is that if a district wants to or not, it's still left up to the voters.
Ultimately.
It's not just the people in the Capitol making that decision. So that's clearly left up to the voters.
One of the other issues that's crowding out classrooms and police departments and fire departments is this burden of the rising unfunded liability of our pensions. How much the state, we're on that Edgar ramp, and every year we have to pay more and more and more into the pensions, and that sucks money away from stuff that we could be or should be spending on in other places. Governor Pritzker has said the progressive income tax is the fix for this, or at least it's a part of the fix for this. He has a constitutional amendment on the ballot to let voters decide that in 2020.
Yeah.
Some conservatives have said, okay, if you're going to put that on the ballot to ask voters, why not also ask voters if they can change that one document, the state constitution that the Supreme Court has used to say you can't diminish a pension benefit? Should the state put that question too about the protection clause for pensions, should that go to voters in 2020?
I feel that the Supreme Court has ruled
on the current Constitution, not on one that would be amended.
And they've made it very clear that this is how our forefathers wrote the Constitution. This is how, I mean, not the Constitution, but the pension
These
line.
forefathers were in 1970, and they were among Speaker Madigan, so he was our forefather in that regard.
So, you know, that was what, 49 years ago. So they saw this coming. And here's the problem with this. I can tell you exactly where I was standing when I was teaching and got the word that this had happened under Blagojevich. First year, he doesn't pay a huge amount into the pensions, $2 billion, I believe. The next year, he doesn't pay $1 billion. And I remember the teachers in the hallway and the students and parents, and we're saying, how do you make this up? You can't just make this up. And now, here we are. How are we going to make it up? And they're trying to do it on the backs of the teachers. And it's totally unfair. We already have a very serious problem of a teacher shortage. And now we're saying, and this is part of what many people have told me, there's just not the respect of teachers. There's not a value to their to their field that they want. You know, all they want to do is teach. And now it's like...
And they paid their part of the pension cost. The state didn't pay its part.
Exactly.
But then how do you fix it? I completely concede and understand that it's a very difficult, complicated problem, and it could have been political malfeasance those years ago to shortchange the pension systems. So what are the other options if you don't change the Constitution?
First of all, the first thing you do is you start paying in the full amount that you're required to pay every single year.
The number's getting bigger and bigger,
and you never take a vacation from it. The reason it's bigger is because we're paying on something from the past that's growing interest that never should have been there. That money could have been growing interest for the state instead of we didn't have the money and we didn't have the interest that we earned off of it.
But if you let that just play out, by 2040 or so, half of our state budget will be on pensions. Right now, it's about 25%.
So it's got to be leveled out, and the way that we level it out is we look back and somebody finally admits, hey, that was a grave mistake. You can't do this. You can't keep pushing it down onto the next generation. You have to wake up, smell the coffee, realize we have a teacher shortage, we aren't valuing teachers, we're putting more and more on their plate, and now we're addressing the fact that there is a pension problem, and all of a sudden, who's responsible for the pension problem? The very teachers who are the only people in the state that were making their payment. It was everyone else that didn't make the payment, and now we're going to go back to them. And, I mean, it's almost ludicrous. We're going to go back to them and say, and now we're making the state's problem your problem. But what did you do wrong to deserve this? You just tried to go to school and teach under the promises that you were given.
Sounds like you're saying you would not support a constitutional amendment.
Absolutely no. Absolutely no. I would not support that. And if we think we have problems now with a teacher shortage, just think if you do that. So, I mean, at some point, are we going to just say we aren't going to have public education in Illinois anymore? Because there isn't going to be any money left if we keep doing things like this.
Interesting, and more of that work will be done in this upcoming veto session. We'll stay tuned to see what the State House can get accomplished. Thank you for joining us.
You bet. Thank you, Mark.
All right, we're back in a moment.